Cindy Verge, Skagit Valley Tulip Festival. She's joining us this morning to bring us an update. The festival, they still got some time left in the festival.
We do.
Yeah. And I got to say, I've been looking out in the fields, and there's lots of color out there. It just looks fantastic.
There is. We've lost a few fields because some of the fields actually started blooming about the middle of April. Mm-hmm. And they only last about 2 weeks out there before they have to take the flowers off, which is called topping. They don't plow them under. They don't do anything else but take the flowers off so the bulbs can get bigger. But right now we've got about half the field still in full bloom, and you won't find any prettier gardens than Roosengarde and Tulip Town right now. They're just absolutely gorgeous.
How long can we expect to see color in the fields this year?
Through the end of this coming weekend, through May 1st, there will be color in the fields.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And now, if I recall, both gardens, Tulip Town and Roosengarde, will be open through Mother's Day?
Yes, they will be open through Mother's Day, which is unusual. Usually Tulip Town closes up right at the end of the festival, and this year they're going to be open through Mother's Day. And Roosengarde also will have their extended hours and be in their full festival operations because the flowers are so pretty in the gardens and lots of people are still coming.
Oh, how fantastic. What a great treat for Mother's Day.
Speaking of a lot of people coming, you must have had your hands full Friday and Saturday with such great weather this past week.
Oh, we did. For a while, we were thinking that everybody from both Bellevue and Seattle had decided to come on those 2 days. Traffic was amazing, and we were helping so many people through the office. At the end of the Saturday, none of us had voices left.
I like
you
the
could
comment.
still hear mine this morning. It's
I
growly.
can. It's a little husky, but I like the comment that you made when the mic was off that you went home and dreamt about giving directions.
I did. I was giving directions all night. I just woke up in the morning and went, no.
Speaking of directions, you had an interesting point about relying on Google and those online map destinations for your map destinations. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Well, we've really noticed the past few years that people want to rely on that technology, put into their GPS system, whatever that is, to go and come to the festival. And that's really great, except sometimes there's a better way.
Sure.
And when they don't read the brochure, read the website, call us, we can't tell them that better way. And so, like on those really busy days, Friday and Saturday, it was just backed up on the freeway. Downtown Mount Vernon was extremely busy, but you got past exit 226, and the way to Highway 20 was completely clear.
Wide open.
4-lane highway that nobody was using, and that was a great way to get in the fields, and we just couldn't get people to use it.
Now, you're aware of that at the time of the event, maybe when a call comes in, kind of what the traffic conditions are looking like. Is that right?
Yes, and that's we were actively, if people were calling in asking for directions, we were saying go to Highway 20. Don't come into town. You don't need to come into town. You do need to get a map, but here's directions. Here's where you turn. And we know that the busiest day of the festival is the sunny Saturday in April when the fields of flowers are in bloom.
Sure.
And it always is. And so you anticipate that, and we try and get the word out as much as possible.
Sure.
And it gets frustrating because you don't know what else to do to help people get through the traffic and the congestion.
What about the Mount Vernon Highway Patrol or something like that? Are they available to kind of give visitors an option for driving, or are they just going to get more conditions?
They usually... There's not a lot they can do once it starts backing up on the freeway. And DOT had crews out there. We had help from Skagit County out there. But you end up with just that heavy of a traffic. You're funneling it all down into one spot. And what do you do? We did make some modifications to the map on the brochure. If you've looked at it over the past couple of years, we added all of the surface streets or feeder roads along I-5, showing people those alternate routes. And just from hearing from people, traffic was busy on Cedardale and Old 99. People were taking some of those roads as alternates and using some of the other exits because the State Patrol suggested we do that as well, because you think about it, you take and spread out the traffic over more options. while it still slows things down, it does create a better flow.
Oh, sure. Anything would help.
Yes, and we'll keep looking at options for next year. Someone even called yesterday, which I thought was an amazing suggestion. I hadn't thought of it. Of why not see if we can get some kind of bus or shuttle service out of Snohomish County from like one of their park and ride locations or something, and see if we can start working on that. And again, I always think of how do we work with people that get here. Why not intercept them before they get here?
That's a good idea.
And see if we can help them.
That's a good idea. Why didn't I think of that?
Me too.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Talk about we were talking about businesses that are going to be extending their operating hours and days.
Well, most of the festival events end. They are run by volunteers, and trying to get people to volunteer more than 30 days gets really, really difficult.
Sure.
So our art shows will end. The Kiwanis Salmon Barbecue has already finished. But many businesses extend their hours or offer special promotions for the Tulip Festival, and we're checking with them to see if they're going to continue on. Like right now, our wineries are going to continue their festival hours. We found out Tulip Country Bike Tours will continue offering tours through Mother's Day weekend, which they normally end on April 30th. We're checking with places like Rosabella's. We have some different farm things, and we'll be listing all of those on our website.
Great. Good to know.
Excellent. Now, what's coming up this weekend?
This weekend, you have a great event right here in Anacortes. It's called the Garden Art Fair, and it's been going on, I think, for about 5 years now. It goes on down by the Depot Art Center, and they bring in, just as it says, garden art.
Garden art.
And plants, and they open up the depot, and it's an open house there. And it is a nice event at the end of the festival. Then we've also added something new.
What's that?
On May 7th. It's called the Skagit Band Festival, From Sousa to Swing. It's a brand new event that the Mount Vernon Chamber, the City of Mount Vernon, and the Mount Vernon High School have put together. We're helping them promote it. And it's a band competition. There's a high school band category, a jazz band category, a community band category, and they'll also be giving a prize to the best small band.
Wow.
To help those either very small schools or middle schools or, just small groups. And it'll be taking place at Edgewater Park. It's free.
I like free. Free's
free
good.
is always good.
How does someone get involved in that? If they're looking
they could call our office, and we'll plug them into the folks at Mount Vernon Parks and with the Mount Vernon Chamber that are kind of running that day of the event, and get them involved, because I think it sounds fabulous. It will be something really fun to build on and to look
Sure.
forward to having as a May event.
Great. Every year it adds a little more, gets a little,
It does.
a little smoother.
Yes.
Just think about where you started and where you are now.
Oh, most definitely. When you look at the history of the festival, starting with 1 weekend and 5 events.
Yeah. And now look at it.
And here we are today, and that was in '84 when it was 1 weekend and 5 events.
Now, the next World Summit, a Tulip Summit, when is that?
That is next year.
Okay.
And it will be in Holland. It's actually a Brussels-Holland venture, because it's right at the border, and it's actually over by Germany as well, because when you look at the European map, it's kind of like our states.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You look at it,
Yeah.
and they're actually going to be doing it in the fall.
Interesting.
And the reason is what they're looking at is we want to celebrate the bulb coming from Turkey to that area, because Turkey was where they first found tulips, and the sultans there raised them in their gardens and nurtured them, and actually they had gardeners who guarded them with their lives, and your life was forfeit if you tried to steal from the sultans.
Wow.
And so it's quite a history in Turkey.
Yeah.
And then the the Turks decided to trade with the Dutch, and the rest is pretty much history. The Dutch brought the bulbs in and started raising them, but they're looking at the next summit being part of a celebration of bringing those first bulbs from Turkey to Holland.
Fascinating. So I sense a trip is in your future?
I don't know if a trip will be in my future, or we'll find some other folks from Skagit County to represent us over there. There's quite a few people raising their hands.
Oh, I'm sure. There's no problem for volunteers for that.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Good.
Very
Great.
nice. Well, I had one last question. The Tulip ambassadors, they have been having a great time this month?
They have been having
Yeah.
a very good time. I think one of their highlights of the year, it'll be a toss-up, whether meeting the governor or riding in a helicopter was their favorite thing.
Wow.
I actually got to go up with them. Port Commissioner Kevin Ware with the Port of Skagit, he has a helicopter, and he volunteered to give the kids a ride.
Oh, wonderful.
And then he looked at me and said, I got a third seat. So I got to go up.
Cool.
I got to take some pictures, and the kids were so excited. We got to fly over Abby's house, and her brother was out there with the dog. And they were absolutely amazed at how neat it is from the air. And neither one of them had been in a helicopter before. Actually, I hadn't either, and it was very cool. One of my favorite pictures is on the Tulip Festival's Facebook page. Because Commissioner Ware was showing us how the colors of the field changed depending on the angle that you were coming in at. I didn't quite understand it, but he was right. And so we flew right over the fields, and what happens is when you're directly on top, it's like you don't see the color as much if you're coming in from the side. Okay. But there's a field of yellow tulips, and the sun was shining, and you see the yellow, but you see the shadows of all the millions of bulbs and tulips that were blooming in that field when I snapped the shot. And it was just one of those really cool shots that you never would have saw from ground level.
Sure.
And it was very, very cool to see.
And that's on your Facebook page for the Tulip Festival.
It is.
Check it out.
And at first when you look at it, you think, why are they putting that on there? But if you click it and get it big, it looks very, very neat.
Good. Well, I'm glad they're having a good time. Now, the young man who won, his name is Michael? Is that
yes, Michael Menta.
And I was looking at one of the local newspapers the other day and opened up, and there he was on the front page with a big smile.
Oh, he
so
was
he must
so
be loving
excited.
this.
Oh, he is. He is a crack up.
Is he?
He has a tuxedo that he wears to events, and he shows up. He's definitely the best dressed person there, and he's so proud of being an ambassador. And he's a neat kid, and Abby is just delightful as well. I think that's one of my most favorite parts of being festival director is that interaction with our ambassadors. Because years later, we've actually had two of our female ambassadors come in and volunteer in the office this year. I'll show up at high schools and they'll come up and go, "Do you remember me?" And I'll look, "Oh no, I know this is an ambassador," because when they're a sophomore, junior in high school versus when they were fourth or fifth grade, it's kind of hard to sometimes figure out which kid that was.
And it's been so long ago and so many faces.
So many faces, and just they change a lot.
Oh yeah. That's amazing. Abby had the story that she grew up near the Tulip Festival fields, rather Tulip fields.
Literally a few blocks away from Rusengarda.
That's funny.
Yeah.
How wonderful. And what an honor for her. And I was just amazed how poised they are. Right after they won, they were giving interviews and just as if it was scripted.
Exactly. If I was in fourth or fifth grade and I won something like that and somebody stuck a microphone in front of me, I would have just gone, where's my mommy?
I'm still like that at this age. So that's great.
Excellent. Well, Cindy, thanks for coming in, bringing us up to speed on the Tulip Festival. Still plenty of things left to do as the month starts to wind down.
And as always, if people want more information, click through from your website, from our website, tulipfestival.org, or give us a call, 428-5959, and we'll help you out.
And I just want to mention to our listeners that we're currently videotaping Cindy right now. We're going to have that posted momentarily on your Facebook as well as on the Whale YouTube channel. So look for that posting in a little bit.
And we appreciate that. It helps get information out to people.
Great. We like it too. It's been good. It's great. It's funny how let's use this social media outlet. And let's
try this.
Let's try this. It's just another way to get the word out there.
Yes,
and
indeed.
It's great. We're glad we could help.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks a lot.